Started cooking at about 12. When I got home from school, the first thing that I was asked to do was to cook. And normally it was rice and gravy. It was for, what the family was going to eat for that evening. My influences range between my father's mother, my dad, and my mom. My favorite foods are fresh foods. A fresh yard chicken, nothing beats that. Turtle, I love turtle. Nothing beats fresh backbone off of a pig killed the same day. I, of course, have a soft heart for Cajun and Creole cuisine because it's where I'm from. One of my favorite meals that my mom cooked was turkey necks. It's just a tried and true dish, and no one ever tweaks it. Well, it might have been a bit sacrilegious, but I tweaked it that night. There's a good friend of ours from Cecilia. She would do something called chicken Maque Choux. Just basically took those two recipes and combined them. So it's a turkey neck Maque Choux. Maque Choux is something that cannot be made from canned corn. For one thing, you need to have that fresh taste in a Maque Choux. Secondly, you need the cream. You need the milk, which comes from the cob. It comes from scraping the cob. I went with 2 big ghetto family packs of turkey necks. I first start with, basically wetting the meat with a sugarcane vinegar, an olive oil, and then follow with seasoning, which is red pepper, cayenne, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and some sea salt. So my first step in the actual cooking process, after all the prep work is done, is to heat up some olive oil, almost to the point of smoking, or let those turkey necks griller, brown them, let them stick to the bottom of the pot. This particular evening, the turkey necks had a lot of fluid in them and actually didn't really stick to the bottom of the pot, which I had to brown them on the side. But the important thing is that I was able to extract a lot of fluid out of them, which went into the gravy. There's also something about garlic that I think that's a big mistake that a lot of people make in cutting garlic. Don't mince it. Sometimes you have to mince it, but the more abuse that you apply to garlic, the more that you leave on the cutting board. It should be more of a ballet than barbaric. Even though I'm using those vegetables in its pure state in the gravy, I still season the meat with onion powder and garlic powder. Basically because when frying the turkey necks down at the very beginning, when browning them, I want all those flavors to stick to the bottom of the pot. I want to season the pot with those flavors, so that way when I do go in and add fluid, those flavors are already present there. Once I feel like they've gotten a decent brown on it, then I'm ready to pull them out, and the first thing that I introduce is garlic. A lot of people don't agree with that. Personally, I do it basically because I want the garlic to have a head start as far as from the rest of the vegetables. It's the strongest vegetable that I'm going to be cooking down. As far as all the other vegetables go, those vegetables are introduced after I get a nice even brown on the garlic. The smaller you cut them, the better, basically because you want them to cook down completely. And in them cooking down completely, the smaller they are, the faster they cook. I normally like to introduce pork into a dish, just basically for flavor. If it's beef or any type of fowl, then pork is a very positive addition. So I used a tasso. I think I went with 3 pounds. And this tasso is really undercooked. So it's got a light smoke on it. It's not smoked as heavily as I would have normally liked it to be smoked. So I had to sear it. So once the vegetables are cooked to a transparency, I added all the cut corn and followed up very quickly with, I believe, a pound of butter. Once the fluid levels cook to a nice thick consistency, then I add turkey necks. I very rarely cook and not have guests over. It's normally a nice handful of people. Every once in a while, it's just me and my daughter, or or me and a neighbor. But my suppers tend to always grow. With most of my sauces, it's a furious race to get it to the point of hurry up and wait. Everything is cooked at a very, very high heat, very quickly, and adding all these things and getting them to cook down to they're almost nothing, and then it just goes on cruise. It's on low and slow. The last thing that I'm going to add is tomatoes. Tomatoes and peppers normally go in together, and I put that in towards the very end, just because tomatoes don't need a lot. They don't need to be cooked a whole bunch. They break down really quick. In this actual dish, you want them to have a presence, and if you cook them, if you overcook them, then they're going to completely dissolve and not have a presence at all. So this Maque Choux, this turkey neck Maque Choux, is a really, really heavy, very rich dish. And to complement it, I want something that's going to be a little bit brighter, somewhat light, crunchy. Something that's just going to have an opposing texture and just an opposing presence across the board. My coleslaw, I feel, is a nice complement to that. My coleslaw is composed of green cabbage, a little bit of sugarcane vinegar, mayonnaise, blue plate to be specific, the only mayonnaise that you should use. Seasoned with a little sea salt, a little black pepper, and a little red pepper flake. So when it comes to rice, I'm a big fan of Cajun country rice. So with a lot of dishes, especially really heavy dishes that could use a little delicate side to it, go with jasmine, and Cajun country does make a jasmine rice. And I normally do not put the rice on till my meal is finished. And of course, I'm almost always garnish with some chopped green onions.